For people from any cultural background, there are certain faces from that culture that will trigger particular responses or resonances within them. The article I'm looking at right now is from The Guardian, and it has one particular face from Irish history that will trigger instant responses. And you generally won't find people dividing into love, hate, and neutral camps on this man. It will be love and hate. This is Éamon de Valera. And Éamon de Valera's name always pops up when the Irish War of Independence and the Easter Rising and the Civil War is discussed, and the formation of Ireland as a modern state and how it evolved. And this is an article from The Guardian discussing his Spanish father. Éamon de Valera is famously supposed to have had a Spanish father, and it's long been a subject of contention whether he did or did not. Some people have contended it was actually a Cuban father. Some people have contended that he never existed at all and was invented to preserve his mother's respectability in an era where illegitimacy was basically a stigma and social death. And this article seems to be going with that. I'll read some of it out. It shaped his identity. Did Éamon de Valera's Spanish father ever exist? Documentary on 50th anniversary of former Irish PM's death looks into mystery of his paternity. Éamon de Valera fought in Ireland's 1916 rebellion, and as Taoiseach and president, stamped his independent identity on the newly independent country. Modern Ireland has since rejected much of his conservative Catholic ethos, but de Valera remains a founding father. That Catholic ethos was the ethos that people like my father and my mother was growing up in the Ireland of the 1940s and 50s, where de Valera was basically considered a major figure who was the Catholic ethos, along with people like Archbishop McQuaid. There is enduring mystery, however, over his paternity. Gaps in the record fuel whispers and speculation about the Spanish artist Vivian de Valera, said to be his father. As Taoiseach, Dev, as he was known, instructed Ireland's ambassador in Madrid to investigate the Spanish side of his family tree, but the ambassador drew a blank. Now an RTE documentary has found fresh evidence that suggests Vivian de Valera never existed, that he was invented and the real father's identity was concealed. And it's a theory that's been put forward many times before, with various people being suggested as de Valera's father. The first part of Dev, Rise and Rule, a two-part documentary on the 3rd of September, will shine a light on discrepancies in de Valera's birth certificate and underline the claims about a putative Spanish father. You might ask if his parents were really married. Well, it wouldn't to us nowadays. We wouldn't really care less. No one would be overly excited about it. No one will be jumping up and down about it or getting too thrilled about it one way or the other. But in the world that de Valera lived in, a man who was born in the 19th century, where being illegitimate was, well, basically social death and a social stigma that you couldn't get over and would rule you out of many occupations, and particularly from joining things like certain branches of the church or becoming a clergyman, it was a highly different world. Doesn't matter who his father really was, David McCulloch. But the point is, it mattered to him. It certainly would. The world he lived in, it really would be a big problem. And I'm well aware that de Valera viewed it with a certain amount of, well, worry, and it shaped his personality to some degree. The programme is part of a renewed debate over de Valera's personality and impact on Ireland amid the 50th anniversary of his death, which passed on the 29th of August. Some historians faulted him for Ireland's economic travails in the 1930s, while others lauded him for keeping the country out of the Second World War, and some again blame him for keeping Ireland out of the Second World War. For me, I don't really see that he had much choice if I was asked about the question. Back home in Ireland, it was less than 20 years since the end of the Civil War. He had the wonderful blue shirts running about the country who would have been quite happy to engage in a coup and take the country over. And in real effective terms, Ireland had, well, no military, if you want to be practical and rude about it. It's a bit direct and a bit obnoxious, but in real terms, the amount of military assistance it could have offered was minimal. That's not to slate the large number of people who joined as volunteers and joined British and other forces, but in practical terms, something like 6 to 7 thousand armed infantry with light rifles and a few armored cars was not going to make a great difference in a worldwide fight of that kind. The documentary traced an arc from De Valera's uncertain origins and his mother's aloofness. I'm well aware he never really became close to his mother, and she sent him back to Ireland when he was a toddler, and he never really got close to her in any way. The doubts about his paternity and his rejection by his mother left him with questions about his identity that would occupy him throughout his long life. I'm really interested in seeing this documentary, and that's why I'm reading out this article, because I'm aware there will be other people that may be fascinated by it. De Valera's mother, Catherine Call, who came from Limerick, lived in New York and claimed that she was married to a Spanish gentleman called Vivian de Valera, but there's never been, as this article points out, any record of this marriage. And it's long been considered by some people that it was basically a polite cover for illegitimacy. In the documentary, McCullough uncovers a second New York State birth certificate, a copy that De Valera's mother requested in June 1916 when her son faced execution in Ireland for his role in the rebellion to prove that he was a US citizen. McCullough notes that the amender's certificate spells the surname De Valera and that the handwriting appears identical to that in the original certificate and matches the signature of De Valera's mother. A doctor or public official was supposed to complete birth certificates, not parents. So it all adds to the mystery. My own view is, if I was asked to bluntly pick a side and say what I thought, I suspect he was probably illegitimate, and Catherine Call politely covered it in a way that allowed her to carry on with her life and not deal with the stigma that illegitimate children bore in that era. And that also, by sending De Valera back to Ireland as a toddler, she was able to distance himself somewhat from that. And him growing up in Ireland and her being out of that circle of that meant that she didn't have to deal with that. To me, I couldn't care less, and my opinions on De Valera are complicated. I don't think he's the monster that he's sometimes painted, nor the killer or assassin of Michael Collins, nor the arch transcendent Catholic that he's sometimes painted. I think he's a rather more complicated figure than that. Yes, he was a devout Catholic of a certain type, but so were many Irishmen of that time. But hopefully I might be able to actually watch this documentary and see how it's conducted. And I'm hoping it's not going to become the usual sort of, let's do a hit piece on De Valera and we'll try and approach it with a bit more nuance and show him positively and negatively and show his bad and good sides. And he did have both. There were decisions he made as a leader of Ireland, I think, that were, well, rather flawed, and some, I think, that were far-reaching and intelligent. Let's see if I can actually tune into it. And if anyone is watching who's living outside Ireland, you might also be interested.